Hey guys, welcome back to the Tegiwa YouTube channel. We're here today after GR Yaris intake test V1 with a bit of a V2 day. So as you can see, we've got plenty of ITG induction kits with us. We've also got the team from ITG. They're doing a bit of development today based on our feedback from the first intake test. So they're going to fit these intakes, see what's best, and they're going to make some changes to their kit, which is, you know, fantastic to see that they've listened to us and they want to make the best possible kit for the customers. We've also got Pipercross's brand new kit that they've released. It's an open kit, so we'll be keen to see how we get on with that. We've also got Matt back with his GR Yaris that we're sure you're familiar with now. Cyvex unit as well that we used to dyno it. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, well, it's great to see all these different variants here. They are prototype parts, so that's why they look the way that they do. But yeah, I'm keen to see what differences these make. I was talking to some of the guys before about the differences between the pipes. It's really interesting stuff. The car is ready, strapped down, ready to run on the dyno now. It's got the Venturi on it. Spoiler alert from the last test. That's the one that I kept. And yeah, we're going to run that. We're going to run it with a standard airbox because the ITG kit uses some of the bits from the standard setup that the Venturi doesn't. And then, yeah, I'm keen to see what this Pipercross does. They've got big claims, haven't they?
Yeah, they reckon, I think it's an extra 10 horsepower on standard and plus 30 horsepower with a tuning box. So yeah, it's a pretty bold claim for the cheapest filter on the market. So we'll see. But, you know, thanks to Richard and his team for coming down from ITG, because it's amazing that they've taken the day out and yeah, just want to develop their kit to make it even better. So thank you to them, and we'll get Richard on shortly to talk about some of the variations that we can see here. So let's get it dynoed and get a benchmark for today. Okay, so we've got Richard, boss man from ITG. As I said, he's come down and brought some of the guys down with him to go through these revisions. So over to you, Richard. Talk to me about these intakes.
So having watched the last video, we were a bit disappointed that we didn't immediately have the best intake, and we've got a good sort of past history with making air filters and intake systems for a number of different motorsport teams, and we were really keen to get back here and use this rolling road where that first video took place to just try a few revisions that we'd made, because we were so keen to make sure that what we'd done was good. So there was some talk about this this shape that we'd made sitting back from right at the very front of the bumper, but I don't think that's a problem. We've done quite a bit of testing on that, and I think that's a piece that's definitely staying. The MAF tube and the shape of the MAF tube and the sort of integration of the sort of scoop of which lives inside the filter, that's changed a little bit across a couple of different types we've got here. And some of you may or may not know that ITG are now a producer of a pleated Maxogen type filter. So as opposed to the traditional foam filters that we've made for years, we're now also doing a pleated filter, which is obviously this one here, which is actually a little bit battered. A bit embarrassed to show that one, but there we go. It is a prototype, it is development. So, and you can see here that none of these parts are finished pieces. They're all just straight off our plastic printer, just trying to get the right thing. So we've done the work on the inside to make sure that it's correct on the inside, but we've left the outside just looking a little bit rough there. So that's why they look like they do. We've made one here in aluminium, which was one that we started with, and we actually done quite a lot of test and development miles with this one. And there's definitely an improvement with this one over what we originally put out to market. And I think what we're going to do is kind of call it a version 2. When we developed this kit, I bought a car, I did lots of miles, my friend had a car, another one of my colleagues had a car, and we put the original kit on the 3 cars. We didn't have any lights, we had no issues, and we had a really good reduction in air temp, or air intake temperature. So we went with it. But then over a period of time, certainly in some different countries, we've had people contacting us to say, well, I'm not getting the power that I thought I might get. We didn't actually make a power claim at all because of that reason, and I think the Toyota's quite an awkward little car to develop something for. I think some of the guys out there have probably looked out with various different designs, but we've put an enormous amount of effort into trying to make something that is affordable and gives a decent power gain now. So I think we're here today just to sort of try all of the options that we've got with all the different shapes and sizes and just see which one comes out best, really.
Yeah, cool. So thank you for coming down, Richard. And also you took our feedback on board about the plastic usage as well, which was, you know, fantastic to hear. And
yeah, well, you know, it's not until somebody else looks at something that you kind of go, maybe we could do that differently, maybe we could change that. So yeah, we did look at the packaging when we got home and thought, actually, maybe we do overpack things. But I had an excuse which I'll share with you, which was, you know, the guys doing the packing in our business, they don't know whether the part's going to Australia or they don't know whether it's staying in the UK. So basically, we just pack everything really properly because we don't want anyone anywhere in the world to get it and it not be what they're expecting. We want to keep all the components safe. But in saying that, we are looking to just try and reduce that for those people who are interested in the environment and the effect that packaging might have on it.
Cool, thank you very much. So we'll let the ITG boys loose now on GR Yaris, let them do some testing. So yeah, let's cut to that. So Richard, how's the day gone and what have you found out?
I think it's gone really well. We've managed to try the 4 kits that we brought as variations to the original one that we came out with, and the good news is we've managed to gain on a totally stock car, albeit with an exhaust mod, we gained 9 horsepower and 10 newton meters of torque. So I think we're really pleased with that. I'm not sure what all the competition is like without looking back at your previous video, but I guess you guys will do that for me.
Yeah, we'll edit that in somewhere around here.
Yeah, put that in somewhere. But yeah, the good news story for us is totally stock car, just bolt on your air filter and you get 9 horsepower. So that's great.
And when can you expect this kit to come into production?
Yeah, that's like the $1 million question. Yeah. I think I'd go home and speak to the guys, make sure that we can get all the parts, but I would think in the coming weeks we'll make sure that we've got availability for it. I say coming weeks, that's not like next week, that's a few weeks time. Everything that ITG do is done in Britain, so there will be a little bit of a delay, but I think we'll get it out as quick as we can. And those people who are out there who've got something of ours at the moment and they've had an issue with a light or something like that, I want to try and make sure we look after them with some sort of reduced a sort of upgrade deal, so to speak. So I want everyone to make sure that they're really happy with everything they get from ourselves. Lovely.
So yeah, great news, and thanks again to Richard and the team for coming down and taking the time out to develop this new kit.
Yeah, I think I'd just like to add to that we did a little bit of testing away from here, but we wanted to come to Tegiwa to make sure that we'd use the rolling road that you guys had done that test on. When we did our test elsewhere on a car that had been mapped as opposed to a stock ECU car, we got really good gains in torque as well for that. So I think we're really sure now that we've got an absolutely winning product with this.
Amazing. And yeah, it's great that it's a big improvement over the V1 as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, for some people, I don't think they'll see such a big step, but it depends on when you got your car as to what model year or what sort of version of ECU you have. Yeah. Because when we did our initial testing, which was done on a bit of my own car and a bit of my colleague's car and so on and so forth, we saw good gains, but then as time's gone on, it seems that Toyota have just tweaked the sort of version of ECU, and certainly with what we've just tried here, we've got good gains. And I think I've tried this on my car, I've tried it on other cars as well. So everything about the new kit is good on all cars.
Mega. Cool. So thank you, Richard.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
yeah, we'll catch you soon.
Okay, great.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Okay, so we've got the latest Pipercross filter here, which was released last week to the market. We know it's an open filter, and we know that it retails at £348. So it is the cheapest filter on the market that we have tested. So let's crack the box open and see what's inside. Okay, so we just unboxed it, and the first impressions are that's a big heat shield. Nice finish, nice Pipercross logo etched in there. It looks almost bigger than the engine, the 3-cylinder Yaris engine. So yeah, it's probably going to trap the heat nicely. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, well, we've got, like you say, we've got a nice finish on all this pipe work inside and out. We can see that it replaces the pipe that that Toyota used from the turbo elbow. So all the best intakes from the last group test that we did replaced that pipe. So that's looking promising. We've got a nice straight run after the MAF. Before the MAF, it's quite close to the filter, so we'll see how much that affects it. A lot of the other intakes did that, and the Yaris didn't seem to really care. A good set of instructions and a lot of fittings here as well. Yeah,
really detailed instructions as well. Gives a great breakdown and coloured as well. Nice touch. Like Matt said, fitting kit here. There is a nice Pipercross black sticker in there. No air freshener though. MST is still winning that game. But it'll be interesting to see how this open filter compares to the MST filter, with them both being at a similar sort of price bracket.
Yep.
So we're going to get this fitted onto the Yaris now, do some dyno runs and see how we get on. So let's get it fitted. Okay, so we've just dynoed the Pipercross intake. It actually made the same power as it did stock, but it is pretty hot in here, as Matt will tell you now.
Yeah, it is really hot today. I can confirm, my professional opinion, it's hot. Yeah, well, like Dave said, we've got pretty much the same as standard, but it is really hot in the dyno today, especially, you know, especially today because we've been doing back-to-back tests on different airbox setups with ITG. The car's hot, ambient temp is hot, it's hot and humid day as well. So we do get a lot of airflow through from the dyno, but it's just blowing more warm air for us. So there's every chance that, you know, on the road, you'd actually get a bit of a benefit from this. But you do always have to take dynos as a bit of a pinch of salt, but we can only judge it as we find it. It did make the same as standard, so. But it's nice that you can get the noise of the open air filter without losing anything, because traditionally that's always the trade-off. You either lose a bit of power or...
Yeah, I mean, for £348, it is the cheapest one that we have tested. So if it is, and as we've said before, you buy an intake for various different reasons, whether that's looks, performance or sound, this may be the one that you'd go to for sound if that's what you want, and you're not that you're not bothered about performance, but you're not losing anything. It's not having a detrimental effect on performance. So,
I mean, we've seen, even though you know, something that backs up that it, you know, that the conditions aren't really ideal today is the car with the standard airbox ran 10 horsepower less than it did last time.
Yeah, I mean, even your Venturi is down on power from what it was. Yeah. So, like we say, dynos are just...
Well, they're tuning tools, and it's good. They're good to compare same intake, same day. Yeah. You know, that's what we're here for. We did still see a 10 horsepower gain out of the Venturi or so. Yeah. And just to kind of sum the video up, really,
ITG have had plenty of development on the car today. They've seen an increase over their version 1 intake. Yeah, they've had a nice increase, and we kind of can't wait to see that one come to market.
Yeah, sure. And they've talked about another style one that they're potentially bringing to market as well, more of a sort of a rally style airbox.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, so been a pretty productive day.
Yeah.
Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you check out the first intake test. If you are after any GR Yaris parts, then you can find a plethora of parts on our website in the GR Yaris category, so go and check them out. And yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks again to Matt for spending the time with us and letting us borrow his car. It's most appreciated. Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Bye.